Novatech? A child's lemonade stand has a better business plan. How does it feel being a joke, Mr. Rui?
Keep smiling. The joke isn't on me.
The red, on air. Light glowed. 8 million viewers were watching live Market Pulse, oblivious to the landmine embedded in this interview. In the control booth, the floor director answered a call from the president. The voice on the other end turned his blood cold.
Rui Holdings completed the acquisition last quarter. The man on your set right now owns this network.
Haruka, stop. The man you are mocking owns everything. Do you hear me?
He said. Rui owns the network. This interview is a trap, and we'll take a quick commercial break. Stay with us.
Rui removed his microphone and stood. His faint smile never wavered. Haruka's hand trembled on the script. The broadcast had only paused, but her career had just hit a wall at 200 miles an hour.
That was just a bit of playful industry banter. Obviously, Novatech is. We'll return right after these messages.
Haruka, the president, just called. The man you mocked is the new owner of this network. Why did you go off script?
I wasn't briefed. No one told me anything about this. You are the floor director. This is your failure.
The acquisition was sealed under strict confidentiality. Even I only found out 2 minutes ago. You went rogue on live air.
Rui walked toward the studio's heavy door, his footsteps echoing in the sudden silence. No one moved to stop him.
Wait, please. Rui-san, I didn't know. This is all a misunderstanding. I'll make it right.
Rui pushed through the door without a backward glance. The metal slab closed between them, sealing the silence. Back inside, Haruka sank into her anchor chair, the weight of her words pressing down like a stone on her chest.
President Ito, sir. It's catastrophic. Haruka insulted Rui Leave on air and he just walked out. I've never seen her this shaken. No one told her about the acquisition. I take full responsibility. What are your orders?
8 million viewers just heard her call me a joke. Pity, she never read the acquisition memo.
He drove through the glittering downtown, the acquisition documents resting on the passenger seat. The skyline watched him come. He stepped into his corner office just as the phone buzzed. The caller ID read Ito, Eastern Broadcasting.
Rui-san, this is President Ito. On behalf of the network, I deeply apologize for the disgraceful behavior of our anchor.
I appreciate the call, President Ito. But this isn't about one anchor losing her temper. It's about a culture that rewards cruelty.
I will suspend Haruka immediately, effective tomorrow. She will issue a formal apology.
A scapegoat won't fix anything. I want a meeting tomorrow with the entire news team. We're going to change how interviews are conducted.
The interview culture, I understand. I'll arrange it for tomorrow afternoon. Thank you for your patience, Rui-san.
Rui ended the call and walked to the window. The city lay at his feet, a constellation of light and ambition, but his expression was distant. One phone call had shaken a network, but the real work was only beginning. Tomorrow, the headlines would belong to him. Alone in his office, Rui sat at his desk. The stack of acquisition documents seemed heavier tonight. A notification lit his phone. A direct message from an EBN junior reporter. Rui-san, I am so sorry about the rough segment. Haruka senpai was out of line. Your work is inspiring.
Emi Tachibana. I don't recognize the name. A junior reporter apologizing for her senior. Integrity like that is rare in this building.
He pulled up her network profile. The video archive showed a string of quiet, respectful field pieces. Soft-spoken, thorough, always giving guests room to speak. No mockery, no cheap shots. He saved the message. It was the only good thing to come out of tonight's disaster.
Tomorrow, I'll remember that name. Emi Tachibana.
He walked to the window once more. The city below glittered with a million lights, each one a story. Act 1 had ended. But the real story was about to begin.
Haruka, your behavior last night was a disgrace. You will call Rui-san and apologize personally.
President, I was ambushed. No one told me he was the owner. How could I have known?
Ignorance is no excuse. He owns this network. Your career hangs by a thread. Fix it.
Rui-san, please pick up. It's Haruka. I made a terrible mistake.
The call went to voicemail, again and again. Rui's silence was a verdict.
This is your fault. The producers should have briefed me on sensitive guests. You left me out to dry.
You went off script, Haruka. That mockery was your own invention. Don't drag us into it.
By lunch, the control room was abuzz. Whispers became rumors. Rumors became tweets.
No one is answering my calls. Even the producers are turning against me.
The primetime queen, alone in her dressing room, finally understood. The kingdom had changed hands. The executive floor silenced as Rui approached. Assistants glanced up, then quickly away.
Rui-san, thank you for coming. I've prepared all the data you requested. I am prepared to suspend Haruka immediately. She will issue a public apology.
I told you, scapegoats don't interest me. Show me the numbers, the ratings patterns for every segment that used mockery versus those that didn't.
The president swiped through a tablet. A graph bloomed, sharp spikes for edgy segments, followed by deepening troughs.
This spike isn't success. It's addiction. Viewers leave resentful. Long-term trust is collapsing.
I hadn't seen it that way. The quarterly reports only ever praised the spikes.
That culture ends now. We'll draft a new interview standard. No cruelty for ratings. Town hall tomorrow, every department head.
Understood. I'll arrange everything. Your vision for respectful journalism could set a new industry standard.
The handshake that followed was not pleasantries. It was a contract. The auditorium fell silent as Rui took the stage. Hundreds of employees, cameras, and a new era.
Effective immediately. Every EBN interview will follow a respect protocol. No more humiliation for ratings. Hosts who violate it lose their primetime slot. We inform, not inflame.
He's talking about me. He's going to destroy me.
A ripple of shock passed through the crowd. Then the questions began.
Rui-san, with respect, this kind of format could kill our live edge. Viewers won't stay for polite conversation. They want fire.
They'll stay for trust. We just proved mockery destroys that. This is not a debate. This is policy.
This is my death sentence. They'll never give me prime time again.
In the back row, junior reporter Imi Tachibana watched with wide eyes, her notebook untouched.
This is what real leadership looks like. I want to learn from him.
The town hall ended with applause from some, silence from others. But one thing was certain. The age of cruelty had been shown the door.
Rui-san, wait. You can't just dismantle my career like this. My style made this network #1. You saw the numbers. My segments spike everything. Mockery is what the viewers want. This is a business.
And have you ever thought about the people you destroyed for those spikes? The ones who went home humiliated.
Humiliated? This is television, not a charity. Your naive idealism is going to sink this network.
Then you are no longer compatible with primetime. That slot requires respect, not contempt. Good day, Haruka.
You can't do this. I have a contract. I'll sue. Every host in the country will see this as censorship.
Rui walked on without looking back. Haruka stood alone, her threats dissipating into the humming fluorescent light.
He's serious. He'll actually enforce this. My career. If I can't do my show, I am nothing.
5 minutes later, President Ito received a terse message. Haruka has been warned. Enforce the protocol. The gauntlet had been thrown. Now Rui would find out if words could truly change a network.
Haruka, your on-air conduct violates the new respect protocol. You are being demoted to the early morning weekend slot, effective immediately.
Demoted? To weekends? I built this network's ratings with my own hands. You can't do this. I'll call my lawyer. I'll go to every media outlet. This is retaliation.
The decision is final. Consider this your formal notice. Goodbye, Haruka.
The line went dead. Haruka stared at her phone, the silence heavier than any broadcast silence she'd ever filled. Within the hour, the newsroom buzzed with the announcement. Some were shocked, others relieved. The primetime throne was vacant.
Haruka-senpai, I can't believe it, but maybe this is the chance for something better.
Rui watched the city lights blink on from his office window. There was no satisfaction in this, only the cold weight of necessity. The primetime studio sat dark, its anchor chair empty. The network held its breath.
Now, who will hold that chair? Someone who understands respect. I think I know the name.
Rui pulled up Emmy's field report from 6 months ago. The screen glowed softly in the dim office. On the tape, Emmy knelt beside an elderly shop owner, holding the microphone with 2 hands. Her voice was gentle.
She listens. Really listens. That's rarer than talent in this building.
He reached for his phone and dialed her extension. At her desk across the building, Emmy's phone buzzed.
Rui-san. Yes, of course. I'll come right up.
Emmy walked into his office with the hesitant steps of someone entering the lion's den, though the lion was smiling.
I read your message, Emmy. It meant more than you know. Thank you.
I just hated what she did. You didn't deserve that. No one does.
I am looking for a primetime anchor who believes that. Would you be willing to audition?
This is the chance I've been dreaming of. I have to say yes.
The news of Emmy's audition escaped the executive floor. It reached Haruka before her morning coffee had cooled.
A junior reporter in prime time? They'll say I was replaced by a puppet. That girl's just a pretty face playing politics.
The rumor spread, with Haruka's fingerprints all over it. Emmy didn't earn it, they whispered. She charmed her way up.
Let them talk. I'll answer with my work.
The audition morning broke clear and cold. Emmy stepped into the studio. The lights bright, the anchor chair empty.
Welcome. This interview isn't about me. It's about the people trying to change the world.
In the control booth, Rui folded his arms and watched the monitor. The floor director's hands froze over the console.
She's not performing. That's genuine empathy.
The guest, an elderly man who built schools in poverty zones, wiped his eyes. I've done 50 interviews. No one ever asked me what failure taught me.
I did what I came to do. I gave respect, and it was returned.
Effective next week, the new primetime anchor of Eastern Broadcasting Network will be Emmy Tachibana. She demonstrated the respect and integrity this network will now stand for.
A wave of applause broke out among the junior staff. Veteran producers exchanged skeptical glances, but no one dared voice opposition.
That backstabber. I taught her everything, and now she steals my chair. They'll all see she's too soft for prime time. The ratings will tank.
In her cramped dressing room, Emmy hugged her producer and researcher, tears threatening her mascara.
I owe him everything. I have to thank him.
Emmy typed a quick DM. Thank you for believing in me, Rui-san. I won't let you down. Rui read the message and typed his reply. You earned it. Looking forward to the real thing. He scheduled her debut interview to feature the most watched guest of the season, himself. The media would have no choice but to watch.
I have to interview you, but that's insane pressure.
In the 5 a.m. slot, Haruka's ratings cratered. Viewers fled from her forced politeness, sensing the bitterness beneath.
Our next guest has interesting ideas. We welcome them. They aren't even watching. This slot is a graveyard.
Meanwhile, the promo for Emmy's debut spread across platforms, a new era of journalism. The comments read, Emmy spent her nights researching Rui, his failed ventures, his late father's influence, the quiet philanthropy no one covered.
He built everything to honor his father. That's the story I need to show. My questions have to honor that, not tear it down. Respect, not spectacle.
The network's social team posted a countdown clock. The debut became the most anticipated broadcast of the quarter.
24 hours. My hands are shaking, but my mind is clear. I won't let him down. This network will finally feel like home.
Rui pushed open the conference room door. Emmy was already there. Her notes fanned out like a hand of cards.
Thank you for coming early, Rui-san. I wanted to make sure the flow feels natural, not like an interrogation.
Her voice was steady, but the slight tremor of her notacard betrayed her nerves. Rui noticed it and sat down without comment.
Your fourth question, about the failure that taught me the most. No one has ever asked that.
I researched your father's story. I thought, maybe the answer was tied to him.
He loved old black and white films. Every Sunday, we'd watch one together. That's where I learned to see hope in every ending.
Kurosawa's Ikiru. That's my favorite. The scene where he sings on the swing. It breaks me every time.
The tension between them dissolved into something lighter. They traded favorite scenes, laughing at the shared memory of an old cinema lobby.
This is the most thoughtfully prepared interview I've ever done, and it hasn't even started.
My heart is pounding, and I no longer think it's just the pressure.
The studio was dark, except for a single work lamp. Emmy stood at the anchor desk, speaking to empty chairs.
Breathe. You've prepared for this. Your whole life has prepared for this.
Her phone lit up with a DM from Rui. Nervous is good, means you care. You'll be great.
He thought of me at this hour, with everything on his shoulders.
She set the phone down and took a long breath. When she lifted her head, the reflection looked ready. Across town, Haruka swirled cheap wine in a glass, the television flickering old market pulse archives.
Look at that. 2 million viewers. I eviscerated a corrupt minister, and the room cheered. Now they'll have a child ask soft questions. The network will fold.
She switched off the screen, plunging the room into darkness. The silence was already occupied by defeat. 2 women, 1 city, 1 network. Only 1 chair waited in the morning light. The president's phone rang at 8 a.m. Haruka's number flashed, persistent as a hornet.
President Ito. This protocol is unconstitutional censorship. I demand my prime time back.
Enough. Watch tonight's broadcast. You might learn how a real journalist builds trust instead of tearing people down.
He hung up. Haruka's protests were swallowed by silence. In the primetime studio, lights blazed, crew scurried, adjusting cables and checking focus.
He believed in me when no one else did. I won't let him down.
Amy sat at the anchor desk, the guest chair opposite her empty, but charged with significance.
Just look at him when he walks in. See the person, not the network owner.
The floor director held up 5 fingers. The studio held its collective breath. Amy pressed her palms flat on the desk and smiled. She was ready. The red on-air signal blazed, and Emmy's voice filled 8 million living rooms across the country.
Rui-san, you've built a reputation for integrity. What failure taught you that success couldn't?
Losing my first company. I was arrogant. It taught me that no one succeeds alone, and that respect is not a weakness.
The interview wove through his childhood, his father's dreams, and the quiet vow that built Rui Holdings. On social media, the hashtag number Respect in Journalism began trending. Clips of Emmy's gentle questions spread like wildfire. In the control booth, the floor director stared at the ratings graph. The line shot up 30% and still climbing.
We haven't seen numbers like this in 3 years. She's not just good, she's a natural.
Haruka, alone in her apartment, watched the broadcast with white knuckles. The screen showed Emmy laughing genuinely at something Rui said.
This is a fluke. Nobody wants kindness. They'll be bored by next week.
But the remote she hurled at the wall only confirmed what the numbers already knew. The age of cruelty was over. The on-air light flicked off. Amy and Rui held each other's gaze, a silent promise hanging in the air. Then, applause shattered the hush. The control room whooped. The crew cheered, and someone yelled, "Encore!" backstage. Emmy was swarmed with congratulations. A producer lifted her off her feet, laughing. Rui waited until the crowd thinned. He found her in the corridor, breathing deeply, still glowing.
Emmy, you just proved that respect can draw 10 million viewers. Let me take you to dinner.
Is this a date? My heart is nodding before my head can argue. I'd love that. After tonight, I think we've both earned something special.
They walked out into a blinding blizzard of flashbulbs. The headline was already writing itself. In her dark apartment, Haruka stared at the breaking news. EBN's new anchor scores record ratings. She turned off the television without looking for the remote. The silence was absolute. The restaurant was a sanctuary of amber light. Rui had chosen a table by the window, the city below like a sea of diamonds. Emmy sat across from him, fresh from the studio, her smile still bright. The wine flowed.
Tonight wasn't just business. My father built on integrity. I wanted to continue his work.
When I sent that DM, I was being honest. A microphone should be a bridge, not a weapon.
They talked about dreams, sustainable startups, a new kind of primetime. Rui nodded, already planning.
He sees me. Not the ratings, not the protocol, just me.
Your DM stood out. In a sea of silence, you spoke up. Courage like that is rare.
I've followed your work for years. It's a bit embarrassing to admit, but I was a fan before all this.
Rui set down his glass and reached across the table, his fingers laced with hers.
This is better than any broadcast. It's real.
They left the restaurant and walked to the bridge. The river glittered below, the night air cool and clean.
It looks like a painting. I've never noticed how beautiful the city is.
Their footsteps echoed on the stone, a rhythm that needed no words.
Your DM was the first real thing I'd heard in months. It changed everything.
I was so nervous, but I couldn't stay silent after what she did.
They stopped at the railing. The river curved through the city like a dark ribbon.
Everything I want to say is already in the air between us.
He leaned next to her, and their shoulders met. Neither moved away.
You made this network something I am proud of. That's even bigger than the ownership.
The city lights stretched to the horizon, a future unwritten. They stayed until the chill crept in.
Thank you for believing in me, Rui-san. When no one else would, you saw something worth trusting.
Thank you for sending that message. It was the first sign that change was possible.
Emmy's hand dipped into her bag. When it emerged, it held a small velvet box.
I noticed you don't wear a watch. You mentioned losing your father's, so I thought.
Rui opened the box. Inside lay a simple, elegant watch, its face reflecting the city lights.
This is too much. How did you know?
I wanted you to have something to keep time for the future, not the past.
He slid the watch onto his wrist. It fit as if it had always been there. His hand found hers again, and their fingers locked together on the cold railing. The watch glowed softly in the lamplight, marking a new beginning. The morning headlines: EBN's Emmy revolutionizes journalism. Below, a photo of two people laughing over dinner. On Emmy's desk, that photo sat in a small frame, the only decoration in a sea of notes. Before dawn, Haruka stood in her empty apartment, the television glowing with Emmy's face. She turned it off. The darkness returned, and only the faint sound of traffic remained. The EBN tower caught the last light of the setting sun. A banner snapped in the wind. A new era of respectful journalism. The words held. In the weekend studio, an anchor chair sat empty under a single work light. A monitor read 5 a.m. Haruka would sit there in 30 minutes. Coffee cold, voice hollow. Across town, Emmy opened her laptop and began writing tomorrow's questions. The EBN tower glowed in the dusk, its new banner a beacon for the city below.